commander decks are all Highlander singleton decks containing only one single copy of each individual card, and we are usually trying to win with a 2-card combo or even a 1-card combo. And what is making that consistent and actually even possible are tutors, like Demonic Tutor. Tutors, or ways to search your deck for specific cards, is the key or even actually a must-have for successful consistent EDH decks. And the strongest tutor inside the entire format, or actually even inside the entire universe of Magic, is Demonic Tutor. Absolutely the best tutor you could possibly have, and I highly recommend it. It will upgrade your EDH deck quite a lot. However, it is quite possible to build EDH decks on a budget, and in this video we're going to be looking at my top 20 tutors that are on a budget and actually are even quite good, and most of them are actually being played already in budget-less decks. There are some house rules with Wishboard, however I'm not going to contain any cards in this list that are looking outside of the game. Also, I'm not going to look at cards that I think are bad. I'm gonna try to find some really solid and good tutors within this top 20 list. Diabolic Tutor simply don't make the cut. Also, Rasaket and Protein Hulk are actually kind of a tutor, however they are not going to be part of this list because they are not used as tutors. Alright, let's get started. Number 20, Gamble. So Gamble is actually pretty damn good and should see a much higher position on this list if it wasn't for the fact that I personally hate this card. There are so many times when I search for a very important card and it ends up in my randomly put graveyard. I hate casino cards, and Gamble is such a gamble, a casino card. However, I do play it quite frequently and I do like it whenever I'm playing Entomb, and Gamble is pretty much a secondary copy to Entomb, close to at least. Number 19, Mystical Teachings. For 4 mana instant speed, search your library for an instant card or a card with flash. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Also, this has flashback for 6 mana. Now, with this blue tutor, you can find both flash and dramatic reversal in instant speed. And I think that is making it's stronger compared to Diabolic Tutor. You can cast this in instant speed and actually find a counterspell at the rescue, but you could also cast it a secondary time for some extra value. Number 18, Long-Term Plans. You're probably playing mono blue if you're playing long-term plans or on an extreme budget, because it's actually playable and it's a tutor that finds pretty much anything. However, if you compare it to a vampiric tutor that also finds anything for less mana, vampiric tutor will put it on top of your deck, while long-term plans is actually quite long far away, 3 turns away. However, long-term plans is actually a staple in Narset, or in decks that use top-decking gimmicky tricks. Number 17, the Drift of Phantasm. For 2 blue and 1 generic, you can discard this card to search your library for any card with converted mana cost 3 exactly. And this is usually played when you're aiming at something of converted mana cost 3 exactly or don't play black. You can use this to find food chain, but also a food chain creature, both on CMC free. You can use it to find Ristic Study, Laboratory Maniac. You could use it to find this cool interactive spell, and you could actually do some cool tricks with it. So first use this, discard and find Colagan's Command. Then cast Colagan's Command, return a creature card from your graveyard back to your hand, and then use either deal 2 damage to a creature to destroy a hate bear or destroy target artifact. You could also find this thing, or you can find Blood Moon and even a Windfall, and you can find Arcane Laboratory, you can find Buried Alive, Intruder Alarm, Toxic Deluge, or maybe back to basic. So in the end, Drift of Phantasm has a lot of juicy targets. Number 16, Besheed Queen. For 3 black mana, you can usually find whatever free cost card early in the stage of the game when you don't have that many lands. most of the targets you want to find aren't that expensive in converted mana cost, so usually Bashidi Queen will do the job. However, free black mana isn't always that easy for decks to achieve, and their mana base could be on 4 or 5 or maybe 3 colors. If you're on 2 or 3 colors, I think Bashidi Queen will work out great for you, but decks with 4 or 5 color decks, it's quite tricky and a bit hard to actually cast this for only 3 mana, and that is why Bashidi Queen don't see that much play. Still, with the right build, it's a damn good card. Number 15, Plunge into Darkness. So this is not really a typical tutor because you are not really searching your deck for all the available cards within it. You're just paying a huge amount of life to look at that many cards from top of your deck and then pick one of them to your hand. The others will go into exile, so you can't play this if you're playing a huge combo package. I would not recommend this card in Flash Hulk builds. But in this format where we have about 40 life, Plunge in the Darkness has a lot of potential. Number 14, Mausoleum Secrets. Search your library for a black card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. So there is a condition to make this tutor function. You need creature cards in your graveyard to find expensive black cards. Therefore, I don't think you can consistently find ad nauseam with something like Mausoleum Secrets. Rather, I think the aim should be something on cEDH or cEDH. For example, Animate Dead. I definitely think it's possible to use Mausoleum Secrets to find Animate Dead. But you would only need 1 creature card in your graveyard to be able to find Demonic Consultation. So it has a possibility of finding combo pieces, but also this is instant speed, so you could use it to find interaction in response in instant speed. Counter Squall, which is kinda close to a negate, is a black negate. And you can pay 2 mana for here to cast this and find this, and then pay 2 mana to cast a counter spell, everything in an opponent's turn in instant speed. You can't do that with a Demonic Tutor. But I would also like to show you guys this thing, Cremate, 1 black mana instant speed, exile target card from a graveyard, then draw a card. So for 3 mana, 2 black and 1 generic, draw a card and exile a card from a graveyard, everything in instant speed. Shadow of Doubt, also a good alternative. If you're able to climb a little bit higher, you could find an Offensa the Foremost for other grindy hate bear interaction against your opponents. Waste Not is definitely a solid target for this. Celios Persecution, definitely an instant speed, very interesting board wipe potential. If you have a deck that is filled with creature and have an easy time filling your graveyard with something of 4 creature cards, then you could use Mausoleum Secrets and find Notion Thief. So that is basically a 6 mana Notion Thief from your deck. In the end, I actually consider Mausoleum Secrets quite playable and definitely good in the right deck. Number 13, Summoner's Pact. The very fact that it only searches for green creature cards limit this a little bit. It's a perfect card to search for Protean Hulk. Inside the 99 of Nayela the Blade Blossom that is also containing a Hulk package, Summoner's Pact might be the strongest tutor for that deck because it could find both Hulk and Darevi Imperial Tactician. I guess that I also should mention Hermit Druid. These are the biggest targets for Summoner's Pact. So it is a bit limiting, but a 0 mana cost instant speed tutor is definitely great. I also believe that Summoner's Pact will grow stronger in the future, because I do believe they will print interesting creature cards that are green that we wanna search for. Number 12. Crop Rotation. As an additional cost to cast Crop Rotation, sacrifice a land, then search your library for a land card and put that card into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So this is basically putting whatever land card you want to have from your deck into play. You could view this as a way of tutoring for Bajuka Bog in instant speed, or maybe a Gaia's Cradle. So this card is a tiny bit limiting that it's only searching for land cards. However, whenever your game plan involves lands in some form or way, this is definitely the best tutor for lands inside the entire game. Number 11, Praetor's Grasp. A combo piece that you're looking for inside your deck might also exist in an opponent's deck. We're mostly playing quite similar decks, and all the cEDH staples usually exist in every form of deck. So you could use Praetor's Grasp and find an opponent's Isochron Scepter from their deck. Or you could do something differently. You could cast Praetor's Grasp, find a very specific combo piece and put it in face down exile for the entirety of the game, making it impossible for that opponent to win from that combo card. So in this format, where we are actually aiming for a very specific card to win us the game, Praetor's Grasp is actually a functional interaction against those kinds of decks. Number 10, Whir of Invention. This is one of the stronger artifact tutors within the game. 3 blue mana, however, is a tiny bit of a problem, but instant speed and improvise backs that up. In the end, a solid tutor. Number 9, Eldritch Evolution. 2 green and 1 generic sorcery. As an additional cost to cast Eldritch Evolution, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, where X is 2 plus the sacrificed creature's converted mana cost. Put that card onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. Exile Eldritch Evolution. This is actually a really good creature tutor that searches for more expensive creature cards. Or well, you could actually find something less expensive, because you can go down in X. In any case, this is really good. Number 8, Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll will only find blue instant cards, so Flash and Dramatic Reversal are the usual targets, but you can also use it to find Pact of Negation and Cyclonic Rift. Number 7, Tainted Pact. Tainted Pact actually puts a deck construction demand on your build, because you can't have 2 cards with identical names, therefore you can't have more than 1 basic land within the deck. This card is also pretty damn good when you're trying to win with Laboratory Maniac, because we can use Tainted Pact to exile and remove our entire deck from the game. However, when you're trying to win with something like a Flash Hulk, Tainted Pact is not really that good, because you could accidentally exile combo pieces that you need with your Flash Hulk build. Number 6, Limdul's Vault. I guess it could be a bit tricky to read the very small text on this specific card, so let's zoom in. Look at the top 5 cards of your library as many times as you choose. You may pay 1 life to put those cards on the bottom of your library and look at the top 5 cards of your library. Shuffle all but the top 5 cards of your library, put the 5 top cards of your library in any order. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this life loss. This card is best compared with Vampiric Tutor. Both are in some form of way searching through your deck for a card to put on top of your deck. In Limdul's Vault case, it's gonna cost you more life, cost you 1 more blue mana, but you can choose between more than just 1 card that will be on top of your deck, so you can maximize a little bit higher profit. A really good tutor. Number 5, Green Sun Senate. This is also only finding green creature cards. The most common thing you do with this is that you find Dryad Arbor by tapping Green Sun Senate for only 1 green mana, X0 and find this land. But you can also find specific dorks like Deathrite Shaman, or combo pieces like Hermit Druid or Darevi Fonagella, or even Staxy creature cards like Anafensa the Foremost. Green Sun Senate definitely has a lot of toolboxing potential. Number 4, Eldamir's Call. The great strength in this tutor is that it searches for any creature whatever color, so it can find more than green stuff like Eternal Scourge, Laboratory Maniac, Razaket, or my personal favorite, Notion Thief. For example, you could cast Eldamir's Call for only 2 mana and then Notion Thief for 4 mana to tutor and toolbox Notion Thief into play from your deck for 6 mana total. Even though this Simic tutor is only fetching for creature cards, it's still a tremendously good tutor. Number 3. Muddle the Mixture. You can pay 2 blue mana to counter target instant or sorcery spell, but you could also, for 2 blue and 1 generic, discard it, transmute, and search your deck for a card with CMC exactly of 2. Then there is a great amount of targets for that. You have Flash, Dramatic Reversal, Tainted Pact, and Icy-Crown Scepter. Simply, if you're going for Dramatic Reversal, Icy-Crown Scepter, Muddle the Mixture is close to an auto-include tutor. Now, Muddle the Mixture is one of the few tutors that actually has a great use outside of the tutoring transmute purpose. It's a decently good counterspell. Or let's actually phrase that, it's a bad counterspell with a toolboxing potential. Number 2. Mystical Tutor. Like before, it definitely has good targets like Dramatic Reversal and Flash, tutoring for those combo pieces. But one of my favorite things to tutor for is Windfall. So ramp out a huge mana base, then cast your last card, Mystical Tutor, and then cast Windfall to regain a tremendous amount of value. Windfall turn 2 from an empty hand is definitely a good start. But you could also find Fire Covenant and Toxic Deluge for rescue purpose. Or if you need more value, you go for Ad Nauseam. Mystical Tutor is definitely a staple in a lot of cEDH decks. Alright, it's time for the last one. The best budget tutor in the game is number 1, Diabolic Intent. For 1 black, 1 generic sorcery, as an additional cost to cast Diabolic Intent, sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. It is pretty much a weaker version to Demonic Tutor. Many cEDH non-budget lists play both. There is a tiny upside with Diabolic Intent that it actually is a sack outlet. Alright, I guess this showcased just how strong Demonic Tutor really is. That you want a secondary copy of it, one that is a little bit weaker and forces you to sacrifice a creature. And that means that you can't play Diabolic Intent in every single EDH deck. In Spellslinger decks with no creature cards, you won't be able to sacrifice anything to cast it. In my opinion, it's definitely worth sacrificing a card like Deathrite Shaman just to get that tutor effect, to find any whatsoever card from your deck and put it directly into your hand. Alright, that was my entire list. That was my top 20 budget tutors for cEDH. I hope you enjoyed the list. If you like the list and agree with my list, please leave a thumbs up. And also feel free to leave a comment on how your list would look like if I missed a tutor that you consider good for the top 20. Thanks for watching and take care, guys.